Good evening. It's Monday. It's American Hammers TV, AHTV, and friends. I get to pick three of my good friends from around the world. And tonight I picked Sally and Wally, King of Prussia. Sorry.
I just realized
And
that's what it said. I didn't realize we had royalties on the show tonight.
Yeah.
and
That's
the
only where
gentleman
I'm
below.
from, but or where I'm located. But it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And Charlie Walsh, man, from Hammershot, who just won his way into the finals of the Tournament of Champions for Friday Night Lights.
Oh,
Big dogs.
congratulations.
Big dogs. Big lucky
Man,
dogs.
He's going to
Lucky
be
dogs.
facing KDK in the finals next Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, and that's the final. And then after that, we're going to take Friday Night Lights is going to take a little hiatus until football comes back. And once football comes back, we'll have season 2 beefed up and ready to go. We already have 3 ex-players willing to jump in the tournament that weren't on this previous season, as well as the 6 semifinalists will return for season 2. And then a crap load of new people. We're going to have 54 contestants in total, three a night, obviously, and should make for a good one. Then we'll have another tournament, another winners tournament, which would be great because this one went pretty well. So let's do it again. But anyway, this Wednesday night, we got a new game show. It's called Hammer Shots. Yes, it's influenced by those in Philly. I love the ring to it, Hammer Shots. Yeah, Adam from West Ham is Why We Drink is going to be hosting that one. And our first episode is this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is before Lee's show at 9. So stick around for that one, obviously. Who's the contestants? Irish Tommy's going to be the first contestant against Danny from London that lives in North Carolina now. So that should be a good one. They're both lifelong hammers, and should be good ones. Test your knowledge. So if anybody watching this wants to jump in and do an episode, it's just 2 contestants per episode. Take a look Wednesday night and see what you think. And if you're willing to, test your West Ham knowledge against, maybe sometimes you'll be going against Americans. Maybe you're American and go against some Brits. It's all good, and it should be fun. And we're gonna do the same thing like we do with Friday Night Lights. We're gonna eventually, have some sort of leaderboard and a tournament at the end of that, and so on and so on. So enough of that spiel. I do see. Holy moly! Is this Tom? Tommy, I'd love to get you back on sometime, dude. I hope you're doing well. I haven't talked to you in a while. But anyway, good to see everybody else in the chat room as well. I do see a lot of you. That's nice. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to just go through some Hammers polls to start with, since we're trying to, catch up on those. We had a lot of shows last week. Haven't had so many this week so far. So what we decided to do was let's do some Hammers polls, catch up. And then halfway through, if you guys have anything that you want us to talk about, bring it up, mention it. We'll do it. Okay, yeah. All right, the chat room is good tonight. All right, let's see if I can pull this crap up. And I think there's a Jordan Hugo one in there too, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I saw it.
Yeah, you did.
I saw it. No one added me, but someone did hashtag recall Big George, and I have an alert set up on that, so I saw this week.
I bet. Oh, good one. I was kind of disappointed by the outcome of it, but anyway, we'll get to that in a few. The first one tonight, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. What would you do with Noble at the end of this season? Would you release him on a free, keep him for next season, or a coaching role at West Ham? Now, before you guys start answering, those in the chat room, please feel free to give your answers along with us, and I'll try to pull them up as the other guys are answering theirs. So we'll start from the bottom and go up. So Charlie, you see the results, but hey, what's your answer?
Yeah, keep him for next season as well. I want him to stay at the club forever and be a coach and everything else. Like, I think that's the perfect role for him. But next season, I still think he has a role in the team. A much more diminished one, but a role nevertheless.
I can't argue with that. So Wally, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Keep him for next season. Then the following season, I think he could be the head cheerleader for the team. When we bring on a full set of cheerleaders. But keep him next year, yeah.
Silly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's no need to get rid of him. Keep him in, and maybe you can even kind of do him like a player coach, how they did with Ryan Giggs at Man United, something like that, to where he does more teaching than playing, I guess, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, keep him for sure.
Yeah. So my thoughts are definitely keep him around, but the manager needs to use his brain and see that there's more often than not he's not doing enough. Really, everybody says that his main role is, or what the one thing that they love about him so much is that he's Mr. West Ham and he's the passionate leader on the pitch. Blah 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 blah. Sometimes that's just it doesn't really do much. I mean, the other guys got to be doing their jobs, performing as well, and sometimes there's a hole in the midfield because of him. So if the guy's playing well, just like anybody else, play him. And if he's not playing well, I don't care, Mr. West Ham, Mrs. West Ham, Dr. West Ham, whatever. Just, he's not playing well, don't play him. That's simple. But definitely keep him around. Good dude. No offense. Sorry, Mark.
I think, and even though, I think for me, he automatically starts in the big games just every time. Because no one else like plays in big games like he does. The guy rolls up. Listen,
Okay.
in one stroke he'll play the best pass you've ever seen, and in the next one he's going to 2-foot whoever their attacking midfielder is. And I'm fine with that. That's what you want from someone to be sort of the leader guy on the pitch. I think he automatically starts in those games, even ahead of people like potentially Socek and stuff. So I think there's definitely a role in the team. Definitely a role.
Yeah, we get a lot of different opinions in here. One more season, then player coach role. Yeah, there we go. And Kieran says bit role next year. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I know. Listen, it's obviously not up to us. It's up to the manager anyway. But that's our opinions. Okay. Take it or leave it. Next one should be fun. This one is. Oh boy. Okay, so UEFA sporting merit. UEFA sporting merit and average of points achieved so far. To decide league positions if the season is unable to finish. West Ham will survive on goal difference. I think this has been beaten to death, but we'll get into it anyway. Fair or no fair? The whole actually, Hammerstead did a whole video on this. But yeah, what do you guys think about the whole points per whatever, the average shit?
I think it's fair. I think if for whatever reason we can't start the season again and it has to finish and you have to decide positioning based off of that. I mean, even if we were to get relegated, I would think that it was fair because, up to that point, what you've done on the field is what you've done on the field. If you're getting relegated and it's early, you can't be upset because you put yourself in that position to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that would suck is if, maybe your team was in good form and you're kind of climbing up the table, which we kind of were a little bit. The last 2 or 3 games we were playing better. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fair, and and even then we're still equal on points for relegation. We just got lucky because we somehow scored more goals than the next team below us. So, excuse me, or at least had a better difference, obviously. Yeah. So I think it's fair.
Wally.
No, I don't think this is fair. I mean, it's very arbitrary, and nobody knew this rule up front, so I'm sure they would have played differently, obviously. So I don't think this is fair at all. Although it does keep West Ham up, so I would probably support it, but I don't think it's fair. If that makes sense. Yeah. That's my.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I'm kind of leaning more towards you, but I actually don't know. I'm kind of torn. Anyway, I'll get to that after. Charlie.
I don't think any solution to anything at this point is fair. It's such a specific term, and I don't think anything's going to be fair realistically.
Yeah.
Like even this where I think you're trying to make the most fair solution. Like, okay, but what about teams who have faced more big teams? What about teams who have faced easier teams? There's a lot of things that go into these things which just make the situation, no matter how it plays out, fair. Which is unfortunate, but it just is the way it is. So out of all of the solutions where you say if it was a season ender and they were determined to have a 1 through 20 table, it's maybe the best solution in that sense, but I don't know. Fair is such a specific term.
Yeah.
I think a big issue with it was that there wasn't already something set in stone for situations like this. Like I know it's kind of hard to sit there and think, okay, well, let's talk about what would happen if for whatever reason we had to stop playing early. Whether it's a month early, 2 months early. I think there should have been something already in place to where this is how it's going to happen. That way, people, regardless if they liked it or not, that what was going to happen. Like if you don't go on playing for a certain amount of time in the league, it's called. I know no big leagues have officially been suspended yet or canceled, but I think that was a big issue too. Is that a lot of this is coming after the fact, and regardless of what it is, something's going to rub somebody the wrong way, I think.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The one thing I liked about it was seeing Bournemouth get the shit canned, fucked up, and disappointed that Brighton didn't get the mix. That was the other one that I wanted to go down.
So who would get relegated under this? Norwich,
Bournemouth,
Norwich,
Villa.
Bournemouth, yeah, Norwich, Villa, and Bournemouth.
Oh, Villa. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
That's hard.
Bournemouth, I don't care. Villa's a big club; they deserve to be in the Premier League. Not to do well, but they deserve to be there. And I don't know. Just Bournemouth, fucking in Brighton. I'm pissed at Brighton didn't get in that mix. But anyway, yeah, nothing's fair. Nothing's fair, dude. And so the answer, I mean, it's not fair. But a lot of the fans are probably like, you know what? Hey, this keeps us up for sure. Yeah. Let's go with it. Let's do it. I see a lot of gaming chat in the chat tonight.
It's young Tom. He's rolled up. He started exposing me. Like I'm not. Listen, Tom. I don't know about this exposure that you're rocking now. I'm not sure about this.
Just toss out his gamer tag while you're there too, so everybody can add Charlie.
I mean, I could tell you. Listen, you don't. Listen, you know my gamer tag. It's the person who slaps you in the head from a mile away. That's what I'm saying. Big dub.
What game are we talking about?
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll get my son to jump in there.
I don't. That's unfair. That's unfair. Come on, bring hands over here, bro. Don't get young'uns to do it for you.
Yeah, well, I suck at video games. So, all right. So this one's from Tony Pearson, good friend of the channel, and that's that dude right there. So Noel Whelan tells a Football Insider that West Ham should pursue John McGinn, an Aston Villa midfielder, 25, who has recovered from a broken ankle. That doesn't sound good, but anyway, yes, he's good. We have better, not for me. Let's start with Charlie. Go up.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I really like John McGinn.
Really?
He's not. He's not. He reminds me a lot of Todd Cantwell as well. I think he's one of these players who doesn't look glamorous at the first time, but he is brilliant. I prefer him to. In a way, I think when I look at Robert Snodgrass, I think this is a guy who can only play in the centre at this point of his career due to like fitness reasons and all this other stuff. John McGinn's better than him. He's better than him in that role. He's better than him in every way. I love John McGinn. I would have him, depending on the price, I would have him at the club in a split second.
Wally.
Yeah, I have to confess, I don't really know who this is, but I think we have plenty of midfielders, so I might pass on this, especially because he has, coming back from a broken ankle.
That's the thing that scares me.
Doesn't sound good. Yeah.
You know me with injuries, I really don't have time for people who get injured.
Yeah.
Even though apparently that's calling the kettle black, but anyway,
I mean, I've broke my ankle and I've never been the same since. So
that's what I mean. I'm getting older and now I realize that injuries just absolutely kill people. Yeah. They're never the same. Look at Lanzini, look at Fabianski, look at Antonio. It's not 2015 anymore, people. So I don't know. John McGinn, I don't know much about him. Sally, what about you?
Yeah, I don't know much about him either. I have heard his name now and again. Obviously 61% of people would think he'd be good. The ankle injury does scare me, but I'm a big fan of quality players in the locker room because they're only just going to make other people improve. If he comes in and he's an absolute world beater for us, perfect. But if he comes in and he's able to raise the level of competition for other players, then that's perfect too. I said, unfortunately, I don't know too much on him. I don't want to sound foolish. But yeah, I think, same thing with Bowen. I didn't know much on Bowen. He comes in and through his class, he could, especially being 25, I mean, he'll be able to recover from injury more so than, somebody who might be playing at 35. So, I mean, I don't think it'd be negative, but I just don't know too much about him to really have a yes or no opinion on it.
Well, I trust Charlie. I do.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
do. I trust his opinion. However, still the injury scares me. I don't know enough about him, but I definitely trust Charlie in this one. So I would say, yeah, if Charlie says,
Yeah, the optimism is definitely reassuring.
There's nobody that has scouted Jordan Hughes as much as the man down below.
Thank you. What I would say is this: I don't think we'll get John McGinn. I think he's one of those players who
what are we talking about here? What's his value? Does anybody know?
Probably significantly more than it was a year ago. I mean, a year ago he was playing the Championship, right? And now he's banging it in the Premier League. Like he's homegrown. He's how old is he?
25.
Did it say 25 there? Yeah, I was thinking he was in his mid-20s. I mean, probably I imagine 20 million's a minimum at this point. He's one of those people who you look at and you think he's not not going to play for a top club, right? But he's going to be incredible at any other club, in my opinion. I think he's brilliant. I really, really genuinely do. And he's got that thing we would all love in that, Robert Snodgrass has that never say die, never stop attitude. He has that as well. And he's like a younger version of that. I really like him.
You think he'd be a player who cracks the starting 11 more so than starting on the bench?
Depends what formation we play, I guess. I mean, like his problem if we brought him in would be in the formation we're playing at the moment and the formation I would like to see us going forward. He would be fighting for the same position as Fornals, Lanzini, basically. So if you're looking at midfield three, he would be like the most attacking out of those three, sort of thing. So he'd be fighting for that position with the other two. So it's a rough thing for us because we've got just so many people who can play there. I mean, Anderson can also play there if we want him to. But yeah, I think he's brilliant. Like if we had him and Fornals, for example, I'd be bloody hyped for life. But yeah,
it'd be a good problem to have, is what you're saying, pretty much.
Yeah,
I have to disagree. Not disagree. I just have to question this one here. They receive top treatments now, and now they know so much more about post-game recovery. Then why is Wilshere still hurt? Why did Fabianski get re-injured after that layoff? You remember when the whole Roberto debacle? He got re-injured, and then Antonio continuously gets hurt. I wish that was the truth. I mean, maybe it is other clubs. Maybe just West Ham doesn't have that. I don't know. We'll think. So anyway, Atherton says, or Tom says 20 to 30 mil.
Yeah.
Wilshere's glass. Yeah. It's either that or smoking too much grass. Let's see. Next one. Okay, this seems interesting. So some former Hammers either not given a fair crack or left too soon, were just underrated. There's others, but out of these four, so either they didn't get a fair crack, they left too soon, or were just underrated. So Berami, Diami, Obina, Diamanti. I'd also, there's a million others. There really are. And if you guys have any honorable mentions, toss them in there too. Fucking Demba, dude. I mean, can you imagine if we had friggin' afforded him or kept him and really down in championship? Even though that would never happen. Obviously, that's a different scenario. But like Faguli, dude, that's another one that I'm so pissed off about. The guy had all the talent in the world. Anyway, Sally, start with you and go down.
Oh man, unfortunately, this is another one where my young fandom in West Ham kind of creeps in because I'm not too familiar with most of these names.
Come up with an honorable mention, like someone more recently that's not on the list or something like that. That you think get a fair crack.
Yeah, I'll say Demba Ba's another one. I know we were kind of just previously talking about him with the anniversary of the Gerrard slip, and Demba Ba scored that goal for Chelsea. Yeah, he was nice. Who else? I don't know. I think one player I would have loved to see us try to keep, which probably was never going to happen, was it Alex Song when we got him from Barcelona, just because dude came, he played for us, and he was the best player on the pitch.
He was getting older.
Every game.
Wasn't he older?
He was. Yeah, I think we got him. He was 30, 31. But if we could have squeezed out maybe one or two more seasons with him, then he would have been here for the last season in the Bowl-in, and I think it would have helped immensely. Yeah, I guess that's my piece.
All right, Wally.
Yeah, once again, I'm not too familiar with these, but more recently, I would say, yeah, I'm not. So But what about Zarate? Was he?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
He was pretty good.
Yeah.
And also another favorite right back of mine, Carl Jenkinson. He never really.
Yeah, James Tompkins didn't get a fair crack either.
Oh yeah,
The
James.
guy gets sold off.
Yeah,
And look at him; he's a superstar in Southeast London,
I
or
know.
South London.
I
Yeah.
really like Tompkins. Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie.
I don't know if anyone's ever described James Tompkins as a superstar, potentially ever, if we're being honest.
For Crystal Palace, he is.
Well, for you he is. Diamanti is the exciting one there because that man played a dead ball like no one else. Like his free kicks were Nakamura-esque. They were absolutely out of this world. His corners were brilliant. I mean, the guy had all the talent, but the one out of those four specifically that always stuck out to me is Barami. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, if you want to, like, the Army, I think, was given a fair crack, and I think he left at the right time. Obina was one of those people who came and went and looked exciting, but didn't really do much. Barami went on to have a legit career, like a legit European Champions League level career. And it's weird because he moved positions when he was with us. He was a right mid, and then he went out and he became a DM basically, and was brilliant at it, and had literally an international career, Champions League career. And I don't get why we sold him. I remember at the time, to be fair, at the time I was younger, so I probably wouldn't have been fully aware of the context of the situation. But even at the time, I was like, why are we getting rid of him? And he went on to prove it. He was really, really good. He was really good.
Lee saw Diamanti score a goal at the one match that he went over to the bowling. I believe he said he saw Diamanti score one of the two goals that they scored. Now, I'm shocked you didn't say Hugo. I mean, what the fuck?
Listen, he's not gone yet. He's this summer. He's coming back. The campaign is going to take off. He's going to come back in the next window. He's going to start, and it's going to be absolute scenes.
Well, I'd also throw out there Marwan Shamak. No, I wouldn't. I'm just kidding. I would definitely say Sacco, dude. Like, dude, he's a fucking idiot. I'm telling you, he's a fucking moron.
That pairing was lethal.
Never should have let Sacco go, dude. I mean,
Valencia
Sacco
were
just
nice.
Fucking scored sexy goals, man.
I don't know if that's true though. He did the first season, and then after that, he basically didn't score again.
The guy played once in 4 matches. I mean, the guy couldn't get any rhythm.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, but he scored 8 and 8 at the beginning, and then went on to basically not score again. Like, he lived off that. Like, people would chant Diafra Saka, he scores when he wants. I'm like, okay, we should probably start wanting to score then, because he's not doing it. Like, I don't disagree. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but
I would like to look at maybe his goal per minutes or something like that, or goal per games or matches, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because I really don't think he played enough, dude. You know,
wasn't he hurt a lot too? Didn't he have a kind of a poor injury record?
Yeah, here we go again with maybe like the Arsenal players having COVID. I mean, it's fake injuries, dude. You know, and what is it? Fucking Nasri last year with his calf injuries. No, he was just pissed off.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't think Saka was really hurt.
I think they kept trying to put Carroll, get Andy Carroll in, so that would, stop Sacco from being started. If Andy Carroll was ever healthy, he was going to go in.
I will say though that when him and Valencia were on, man, those guys were on, and they were fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yep. All right, well, we'll go on to the next one. Here we go. Again, Jordan Hugo.
Let me just unmute myself. Okay.
What would you do, Jordan Hugo? What would you do? Sell. Looks squad, bench, or starts. Only 89 votes, dude. That's really low for Hammersbolt. That's crazy. So anyway, let's start. We'll save Charlie for last. How about that? Let's do Sully first.
Yeah, I'm not selling him. With the kind of form that he's been on, I think bench to starting, about 50-50. Just because I think we do need a pure striker to start up top with Haller, and he wasn't really given a fair shot before we sent him off on loan. But I think the only reason you would sell him is because he's made a bit bigger of a name for himself now, so you get a little bit more money than you could beforehand. But I don't think the money you would get for him would be significant enough for me to be enticed to want to sell him. So I'm keeping him, and he'll either be bench or he'll start for me, just depending on the matchup, honestly.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah, I'm for the bench. I think he's a true upfront forward, and he could be, backup for Allaire in case he gets injured or whatever. And so I would keep him just for the bench. It's, I don't think we could sell him for a whole lot, so he might as well. he might as well, stay. He counts as an English, homegrown player. So let him stay. But you know what? I have it from a source that I know that if Charlie wins on Sunday, Friday Night Likes, David Moyes is going to bring Hugel in to the bubbles onto the pitch. No pressure, Charlie.
No, I think we'll all sign a petition for that, won't we?
Yeah.
He was with this, and that'll be great. Charlie, what are your thoughts?
Okay, do you want my honest answer, or do you want Charlie Walsh's being Charlie Walsh answer?
Honest first, Charlie second.
They're both the same. He starts, my friend. He's more bloody Hugo. Let's go. Yes, let's bloody go. The guy's gonna come in. He's gonna do bits. Let me break it down for you right now. Okay. Jordan Hugo, he comes in. He starts. All right. He starts just putting in the maddest performances going. Okay. You're not even gonna know what's happened. You're You're thinking, Halaire's got good. Nah, bro. It's Jordan Hugo doing bits, scoring goals, being an amazing footballer. That's all I've got to say on the matter. He comes in, he starts, and he scores as many goals as anyone you've ever seen do it. He's basically Pele.
Well, like I said a couple shows ago, I think honestly he'd be the one player that he steps on the pitch and the fans are instantly behind him. Not that they aren't for the other 10 people on the pitch, but I think if he scores, regardless of when it is, it's going to be incredible. People are going to go crazy.
But on the other hand, I think that the first match he goes out there and doesn't score, people will be fucking all over him.
No.
Well, I guess depending on what kind of performance he puts in. Like if he's shit, yeah, of course. But
striker, your performance is to score goals. If he doesn't,
what you're missing the vital ingredient here. Okay, usually that would be the case, but what you're missing here is A, that's not going to happen because he's amazing, but B, you can't, his expectation level is so low.
Right. Yeah.
That he could come on the pitch and kick one shot on target. People would lose their minds. Don't tell me you couldn't see Twitter's reaction if he put even just a shot on target. Just
never hit the post too. No, I mean, and you got a point because he was brought in just to say we signed a striker in a window.
Yeah.
And it was almost at the deadline too, and everybody who is this guy?
Deadline day, yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, even if you were to sell him, right, let me talk about this in a slightly more serious way, okay? Even if you were to sell him, right, realistically, how much money are you going to get for him?
Yeah, especially with some of the Queen's Park, yeah. So probably nothing.
What's the point? All right. Let me break this down in a very serious way, just for a second, right? I'll put the glasses back on and be me in a second. But realistically, right, if we're rolling with a plan B, if we're looking at ourselves and saying Haller is plan A, obviously he is. He costs 45 million. The dude is class. We have to get it out of him, but he is a class player. Jordan Hugo is very similar in style to him. He's nowhere near his level, obviously, but he's very similar in style. So if you want to change the front line, you want to do a stuff to change the front line, bring on a Jesse. He can bring you something different. He can do something different. But if you need to bring on someone who's gonna keep up the tone, keep up the pace, keep up the style, then why not Jordan Hugo? Because he's the closest we have to it. Antonio's different, Ajeti's different. Every other player we have is completely different. Okay, and then on top of that, he is just the greatest footballer who has ever lived, and I don't understand why no one seems to respect him for it.
The songs made for him will be sang loud and long. That's for sure.
Exactly. I don't know what they are yet, but we'll find out. We'll get there.
One thing that he's really good at is playing matches. I mean, he doesn't get hurt really. Even this season he played 35 league matches, scored 11. Last year he played 39 and scored just 6. But still,
Be our second leading goal scorer. I mean, if you count Bowen's goals for the season for West Ham, well, he'd be our leading goal scorer, I guess.
But so Hugo plays matches. That's the type of player that we want. We want players who will stay fit, and
Right.
keep themselves healthy. And he's a big boy, and that's the type of dude that we should have definitely on bench. If not,
He'd also 100% give everything.
Oh yeah, you could tell that in his introduction video.
Yeah, I actually clicked starts just for shits and giggles, but again, only 89 people voted on this.
Voted.
Anyway, I was on the American Hammers account. This is my personal account. But anyway, so squad bench. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's still a lot of people that think that he should still be in the squad or at least on the bench. So that's a good thing.
It's a hearts and minds campaign, Tim. You start with nothing, and you build your way up. Do you know what I mean? You get there eventually. All great campaigns start with a single person. They start and then they go up, and that's what we're seeing now. Like when I started, that would have been 100% selling. Yeah, now here we are. I'm just saying, give me a couple of months of quarantine, and I will have the people.
You're chipping away at the opinion.
That's what I do.
You're chipping away.
All right, well, here's one that has not been answered yet. So I don't know. I think this is another one of those player questions that we won't know the answer to right away. So we'll just see what everyone thinks and get your opinion in the chat room, I guess. But a big question comes from David Cross. If I was Smash in a footballing strikers smash and grab scenario, who would be my best grab? Sounds kind of inappropriate, but Derek Hales, Brian Robson, Stuart Pearson, or Paul Goddard. So Charlie, go up. Go reverse this time.
I can't answer that question, so I'll just say Jordan Hugel.
There you go. Is it unanimous, Wally Hugel? Or?
I would say Stuart Pearson. He's kind of a hard ass. So, but I don't. What is smash and grab? Is that some kind of gaming reference? Or?
No, it's like like when you get a smash and grab victory. Last sort of like you roll up, you're underdogs. You sort of like we did against like Tottenham or we would against the Man City or something. We roll up, we get a sort of smash goal where it's like sort of rough and tumble. It goes in and then you just sort of
like
defend for your lives kind of things. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yes, Stuart Pearson for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say fuck it. I don't even know who the hell Derek Hales is, but I'll click him. What are people saying in the chat room? Anybody?
Brian Robson. 2 votes for Robson.
Stuart Pearce, not Pearson, right? Is there a Stuart Pearson?
I don't know. Honestly, my knowledge of West Ham past like that era is just trash. So I can't really pretend to know.
I don't know. If it's Pearce, then Pearce. But fuck it. Let's just pretend Stuart Pearson is Stuart Pearce. And
yeah, that's who I was thinking. Yeah.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe just mistyped. I don't know. Yeah, Brian Robson. Yeah, 44%. That's crazy. All right, fellas, and people, and everybody else in the chat room. Anything you want us to talk about? Because there's not much. It's just the news is just not there. It's all the same shit over and over again. Oh, $50 million, £50 million striker linked with West Ham, or here's 4 right backs that we should be looking at. Okay, well, if we're not looking at them, I don't care who we should be looking at. I want to know who the hell we're looking at. The news is just, I don't know, kind of disappointing. Here's another funny one. Felipe Anderson suggests, what the fuck? Suggests the future is at West Ham amid Napoli links. Again, is this like a direct quote from Felipe? No. But
I've seen people trying to get news out.
Anybody seriously think he's going to Napoli? Or is he
no, because he left. Why would he go back?
Well, he came from Lazio.
Mm.
But even still.
I guess he's familiar with the league, so
yeah, he's familiar with the league. He was successful enough that we wanted him and paid a shitload of money for him. Charlie.
Yeah, he's not going there. I mean, the thing is like what would it take to get him out of West Ham is probably question A on any potential transfers mind, and it's like 30 million at the very least, I would suspect, is what it would take. If that's the case, then you narrow it down to who can actually afford that. It's either A, clubs who have big money who probably wouldn't be looking at him. I mean, to be fair, I would like to. I would listen, Thomas, because I am a thug. I'm a hard man. Okay, I will fight big guns. Okay, I will leave your knees like just floating like jelly, mate. Yeah, like realistically, it's the big clubs who maybe would look at him as a perfect second choice. I mean, that's sort of what he was originally at Lazio. He was known as the 12th man because he would come on the bench so often. But realistically, like I don't think any big club is going to look at him and think that's a worthwhile investment at this stage. So then you left with clubs who maybe would sell to buy, and at that point, maybe. But I just can't see it happening. I can't see him leaving this window at all, just because of what the window is going to be like. I just can't see it.
Points. Wally.
Yeah, I think last season we could have got decent money out of by selling him, but after his performance this season, I think his value has gone way down. And if we sell him, we need to get a decent price out of him. So yeah, I don't see him going, to be honest. And I like him. I think he's a great player. He just needs somebody to kick his ass occasionally and get him into gear and playing. So.
He needs ass kicking, and he needs to be playing in the right position. That's the other thing. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't want him to go anywhere. He definitely has skill. He's got a lot more skill than most of the fucking players on the team.
Yeah.
So let's try to harness that somehow. And that's what our management and our coaching staff should be fucking thinking about this whole time off. They should be really thinking about what the hell did we do wrong and what can we do to fix it, right? And it sounds pretty simple, but I really hope that they're doing that and not just sipping fucking tea in the fucking garden and calling 86-year-olds on the phone who's recovering from coronavirus. I hope they're fucking doing work.
Yeah.
Right.
Did y'all see that for Newcastle, there's been a new bid from an American media mogul? Yeah, it's a gentleman, I think he owns like Clear TV or something like that. I've never heard of it before, but apparently he's based out of Burbank, California. I guess it's something recently that's popped up because I'm seeing a couple headlines for it. But it's weird though, because it says Newcastle target of £350 million, which sounds really low for a takeover bid, unless I just have to read the article to see what it's saying. But yeah, I guess it's something. Go ahead.
350 is the price that they're supposedly around for at the moment, aren't they? It's looking at around 350 million, which again, like you say, is probably low, but I mean, Ashley wants and probably needs to sell. And their potential. I don't know. I think it's if the XFL hadn't gone under, we'd probably be seeing Vince McMahon being linked to Newcastle yet again, as he always seems to be. American sports owners, they love a bit of Newcastle. They do. I think there's just a lot of people out there that would want a Premier League team, and this might actually be a really good time. It seemed counterintuitive, but I was thinking about this the other day. This might be the perfect time to buy a Premiership team. You probably get it at a massive discount you wouldn't usually. No one's expecting huge money, and no one can spend huge money right now. It might actually be a great time if you came in and just went, I'm going to sort out the infrastructure so when we can spend, we will spend on the squad. It might actually be a really, really good time to buy a team, especially someone like Newcastle who are desperate for new owners.
Yeah, apparently he's... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, how much do you think West Ham would go for?
I would like to think it'd be a little bit more than that, but I don't know. I don't know how much.
Newcastle.
The team makes, well, I always say it makes a lot of money. Got a big fan base and
they own their stadium.
Yeah.
They have a following. They really do.
The stadium was huge too. Their stadium was bigger than ours, I think.
Even though they're not a big, like a massive club, it's still a fucking worldwide known name. I mean, everybody fucking knows Newcastle.
Santiago Muñoz.
They don't know much about him, but hey.
They're the Premier League version of Juventus as far as the jerseys go, just uglier jerseys. Apparently, he's good friends with the owners of Liverpool, and he would kind of model his ownership of Newcastle, how the Boston guys did for Liverpool.
That's I'm gonna model mine after Bill Gates. Whatever business I take over, I'm gonna be the next Bill Gates. That's what I'm gonna do. So let's pick the championship team. Let's pick the best team in the league and say I'm gonna model after them. Fucking lies. Lies.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at it, right? Let's be real. Like, not on a model sense because they're the champions. You look at them and you just think actually they built very smartly.
Yeah.
They've invested in the right ways. They're owners who understand, unlike ours, unlike David Sullivan, they're owners who understand they aren't football people, that they don't have that expertise, knowledge. They don't think they're going to come in and do it. So they hired the right people to do the job for them. And they've got success because of it. It's not just because, like, let's be real, when they took over, Liverpool weren't what Liverpool are now. You know, they were a much bigger opposition than Newcastle were, to be fair to them, by a significant margin. So it's not exactly like they can just take that model, plop it down and go, yep, we've got success now. But it's a good way to go about it, in the same way that when David Moyes rolled up, he knew the right thing to say was Red Bull. Because it's a model we will look at and go, oh, that works, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Chat room. Who would get injured first in a fight? Jack Wilshere or Andy Carroll?
Jack Wilshere, because Andy Carroll's he's big.
Yeah, but he could probably roll his ankle real quick, running over to him, running after him.
But would he have to? He's got long legs, like a daddy long legs. If you just reach in, you know,
all he would just do is headbutt him, and then Jack Wilshere would be broken forever.
Like a giraffe.
Wally, what do you think? Who gets injured first?
I go for Jack Wilshere because he's very quick and I saw him take down his wife, and I think after
were you watching
that, I think he could take down Andy Carroll. He'd just be so fast. Andy Carroll wouldn't be able to have the time to react.
Wilshere made it out of the tumble dryer just fine.
No, if it was turned on, we'd see how quickly.
Yeah,
apparently Spurs are going back to training on Tuesday.
Fuck. Yeah, well, apparently we are supposed to be going soon. They said that they're going to be looking at the facilities or some shit like that, trying to... Where the fuck did I see that? It's probably the Sun. Probably. West Ham make Rush Green training ground decision amid tight restrictions. That's football.London, actually. That's Ingersoll. The Hammers players are allowed to return to the outskirts of Dagenham, but there are a few restrictions in place when they do. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't really care. I you know what? All this fucking time off, I don't want them to have any fucking training. I don't want them to have any extra time to prepare, and that goes for everybody. I think they should just, it's game day, bitches. Let's go. And get
old school.
Waste any more fucking time. Let's not waste time.
That's the kind of recipe for disaster I'm all about. I love that. Do you remember, right, not to bring it back to my usual stupidity, but you know the XFL, when it originally happened the first time around, do you remember the story about how they decided who kicked first? Have you ever heard this story?
No.
Because when they brought the league, right, they were like, oh, we need to try some new rules. We need to jazz it up, get everyone all excited. So instead of like flipping a coin or whatever they do to decide who kicks first, they got two players, one from each team, to dash towards a ball that was placed on the halfway line. And then the person who grabbed it, that team got to kick first. And lo and behold, what happened? The guy who won dislocated his shoulder, instantly couldn't play anymore. This is the kind of recipes for disaster I'm all about. So, Tim, I like this idea. I reckon no one should even touch it. We should ban them from playing, even touching a football until kickoff. And then we'll see what happens. Just let them loose. And just, I reckon I love this. I love this idea. I back it 100%.
I did see something too, saying that when the teams come back, if they do play at an accelerated pace for the remainder of the schedule, to have 5 substitutions instead of 3, which it would make sense. I mean, granted, not everybody's going to be match fit, but 5 substitutions, that's a whole different ball game right there.
Yeah, Jordan Hugel might actually get in. Right?
I'm for it, heavily for it, and I'm all about it. I think that makes sense. I mean, we get an extra substitution now for games that go into extra time and stuff. So I don't see why not. Like, these are extenuating circumstances. This is what I was trying to say earlier. Like, everything's going to be weird and unfair, and there are going to be new, different ways to do everything. Why not? I mean, if it helps, and ultimately that's what we should be looking to do. The only reason we would play these games is to get it finished. So why don't we put it in place to help the players as much as possible to be able to fitness-wise get over the line, and then we can worry about it next season. We don't have to be I don't know, super.
Yeah, it'd be one heck of a way to time waste too. You're trying to.
What they were talking about was that there's going to be social distancing of 2 meters maintained at all times for any person at training.
Yeah.
2 meters, and there's also a 1 hour buffer time between when a player can arrive and the next one comes in. How
Oh, it's a waste.
What?
is that even make sense?
Where'd you see that? Because what's the point?
London is Mr. Sam Ingersoll, Mr. Newsman.
I guess.
Wow.
Mr. Newsman.
Yeah, whatever.
I see something.
There's a lot worse out there than him.
I see something from the Daily Mail talking about how
It's reliable.
I know, but just something to talk about how the Premier League window is unlikely to open until the end of August.
Oh, end of August. Wow.
Is
Yeah, I
that the
think
transfer window?
June.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
all over the fucking place. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the transfer window. Sorry, yeah.
Listen, if someone, basically what they need to do is just fucking test everybody, right? Test them, make sure they're fucking good, and then throw them in there. Like, there shouldn't be any fucking social distancing. There's no such thing. I mean, don't. If they're fucking healthy, they got to be doing it. They got to be playing. If they're not healthy, they shouldn't fucking be there at all.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so there you go. And these that was, I don't know. I'm just so sick of this shit. So sick of this shit.
I mean, let's be real though. Like, how often are we seeing stories of players doing something they shouldn't be doing right now anyway?
Oh,
Like,
there was one for the
like-
Everton striker just the other day. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, had strippers and everything at his house. That was hilarious.
It's like, bro, if they can't stay inside their houses and calm down, they're very big houses. It's not like me who lives on a council estate with 2 other people. It's not like that deep. You've got massive houses, bro. Just stay in them. It's not that deep.
This was something interesting from Mr. Atherton too. That how they're going to get close when it's a game scenario. So when they first announced that they would be doing, behind closed doors matches, the first proposals of behind closed doors matches, they were saying the coaching staff had to be 6 fucking feet apart, and that the players on restarts would have to like doing a throw in would have to be X amount of meters away, and there could be nobody fucking near him. You couldn't have a defender like in the space or anything like that. It had to be X amount of meters away, and so on. I'm like, well, that is absolute horseshit. It doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah.
The one thing that was funny to me before the Premier League ended was that you didn't have the pregame handshake, but you were still playing a full contact sport and handshakes at the end of the game. It was like, what was the point of that?
Shirts,
Yeah, still swapping sweaty shirts. Still dogpiling everybody when they score a goal.
For us, it's not that deep because in reality, let's be real, our defenders don't get close to anyone the first time anyway, so it makes no difference there. We got that social distancing on lock before it was cool. We get
like Roberto. Roberto was the master.
Right.
Brilliant. Couldn't get close to anything, that man. It was a legendary social distancing.
Anything else besides I don't want any funny stuff there, Atherton.
I don't want any funny stuff.
What do you say? Something about a bear eating a fucking cow or something like that.
A bear eating a cow?
The bear eat the cow first, or the cow eat the bear. If you had a choice to kill a moose or have a baby moose, 8 baby moose kill you or something like that. I don't know. That's the type of shit that he'll say. But anyway, he does have a question. Ask Charlie about rollerblading.
Yeah, man. Listen, allow me to school you on the art of the blade, Tim. Okay, because it's something. It's like ice skating, right? But on land. Okay, so you got your blades, and what I want to. In fact, Tim, do you want to do a video on rollerblading? Just me and you.
Sure.
I'll tell you what. I'll teach you the art of the blade. It'll be beautiful. We'll do like a synchronized dance at the end. We'll hold hands like that and do the thing where they like spin around. It'll be great. It's one of my joys in life, rollerblading. I love it.
I'll fly over for that. Oh, you can fly over there.
I'm not gonna talk about the story Tom wants me to talk about because I don't want to give him credit for his thuggery. Okay, Thomas. I'm not gonna give you that.
Oh man.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else there, Sully, or you want me to keep looking, or?
Uh, I'm scrolling. I'm trying to find something reasonable to talk about.
Don't
I mean,
mention
it's
Spurs, please.
no, I'm not. I know before we started, we were talking about Arsenal training, but somebody said that there were players that had COVID.
Yeah.
I was watching. Somebody had a pretty sick FIFA goal that was on the timeline of Bleacher Report, and that was pretty cool. There was an article about Manchester United coming to pursue Declan Rice. Shocker. I mean, I'll see what that one says. Which I mean, it's not like it's a new conversation, but
Ryan Fredericks is shit at FIFA.
yeah.
Oh, Tim, I was so hoping he was going to win that game. I was so hoping.
I was hoping Antonio was going to win because he was on him too.
I was going to bring it large if Fredericks had won that FIFA match. Oh, and he managed to lose it. Oh,
Charlie,
I'm so disappointed.
did you watch Antonio's or Fredericks' FIFA matches?
No,
I saw Antonio's.
The only simulated sports thing I've seen is I watched the Formula E race yesterday.
Oh no, it wasn't simulated. They were playing against each other. I forgot who Antonio was playing against, but he lost to someone from Spurs, which was tragic.
If they played Pez, then I'd be interested. Okay, but until that day, not interested. Not interested in these mugs and their FIFA.
Yeah.
Although the West Ham Clips guy did.
Oh, I was just waiting for that.
That guy is hilarious.
I love West Ham.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we should have their videos again today. West Ham is SpongeBob.
Yeah, he did the SpongeBob one. Yeah.
But there is nothing like his alternate comment.
Oh, I know.
I fucking love it.
I know.
So the article is titled "West Ham Brace for Battle to Keep Hold of Declan Rice," and I can't read the whole thing because apparently I have to have a subscription to the Telegraph. But one of the last lines that I can read on here is it says West Ham. It remains to be seen whether or not Chelsea could match West Ham's £70 million valuation. When did that £70 million come around?
70 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. 70 million
heard that
pounds.
recently, but I think when Manchester United were talking about it, was up that. But then what did they spend on Maguire? Was that was like 90?
90, yeah. Funny. That was hilarious to me. Yeah. But yeah, and it was just saying too, so the race would be between Chelsea and Manchester United, and it was saying that it kind of leads towards Manchester United because Chelsea can't afford that.
No, and they wouldn't. And plus, Manchester United has more of a need for that position,
right?
Chelsea. But I think the numbers you got thrown out there, just because a lot of supporters were saying they would take absolutely no less than, and then what they really want is this. And what they did was they said, all right, well, 70 is right there in the middle. Let's just 70. There you go, 70 million.
Yeah.
He's pulling it out of their ass. I really don't think he's going anywhere this year. I think he'll be another year or two. Again, he's not even close to his peak. Not even close to his best. He's still a very good footballer, man.
I think any price you put on him would definitely be for like a future evaluation on him as well. Obviously he's already a England international, and everybody sees that his potential is still rising. He hasn't hit his peak yet. So anything you sell for him will be kind of, for that, I think, in the future. I mean, I'm sure whenever he does get sold, unless, he wants to stay, it will be around 70, 80 million, I think, this year, next year, especially if he keeps playing at the level that he's at.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, real quick, I got to put somebody in the spot here. Let's bring up Ray real quick. All right, so this gentleman.
Welcome in, Ray.
How you doing, Ray? Would love to have you do a show tomorrow night for us and with the girls again. That would be great. If you could do it with another one of those shows tomorrow night. You pick the time. We'd love to have you back on. I hope your voice is feeling better, darling. Mr. Ray, miss you, and we definitely need you back tomorrow night. So please do me a favor.
Want some PowerPoints too.
Yes, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is that, listen, Ray, besides Charlie's, what do you call it? Anchoring the show.
I would go with natural charisma.
Yeah, but besides that, your PowerPoints, Ray, are like what holds the glue together. I mean, it just holds the whole thing together. So, yeah, so we definitely need you to do it tomorrow night.
Thing of beauty.
Yeah, so Tim, I guess your time is transfer. That's not funny. But nice try, folks. I don't have one, and I'm not showing you the downy fluff down there. So,
Hey, your shoulders look pretty good, man, after surgery.
yeah, man. I only got a few little nicks.
Yeah,
I got
looks
like
great.
Three little tiny little nicks, but
That's awesome.
yeah. And I got my Ryan Fredericks tattoo. Right
Oh,
here.
beautiful.
See that? And then behind him, that's Marko Arnautovic.
Nice.
So,
Awesome.
Keep one so one. No, there you go. Oh, geez. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I was just basically putting, where is it? I'm trying to pull this up here. I'm so sorry. I was just trying to convince and put Ray on the spot. I got to make, fill his ego and make him feel good and to get him back on the show. That's, take no offense to that at all. Yeah, so this is a good question before we go. We got about 5 minutes, 10 minutes left, whatever. So keep one, sell one, Lanzini or Fornells. Explain why, emotional attachment to a Lanzini, etc. Who's got an emotional attachment? Does Tom have emotional attachment to Lanzini? Or would that be
a little bit?
You do?
That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So he's trying to dig at you. That's what.
Well, he's not digging at me directly. He's just saying in general. Well, I'd probably say I have a little bit at least.
Right.
Well, not enough to keep him, but I could make an argument for selling Fornells. I could do. I think it's worth keeping Lanzini at this juncture. I might not sell him. I'd be if the right price came in, I'd sell him. But I'm not super Lanzini out by any stretch of imagination. And realistically, if we're going to sell one, it's going to have to be for big money. Fornells is the only one who's going to get that.
If we need to talk about that on the show Sunday, right?
Yeah, like if we need to reinvest it, we need to think about it logically like that. We always complain when we don't sell players at their peak. Selling Lanzini now is about as least peak as it could possibly be.
Yeah, peak was definitely like 2 years ago for sure.
Again, it's not. I wouldn't sell. I would sell Lanzini before I'd sell Fornells in reality. But that's the argument you could make for it. Fornells would bring in more money.
Really?
Oh yeah, but then Lanzini, a significant way.
Yeah.
I mean,
he hasn't done much.
I think right now you would get more money from Fornells.
Potential, but
Fornells is like second most goals involvements this year, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not just that too, but I mean, I think he's been tearing it up for the U21s for Spain too, or he was. I mean, I don't know since then, but I mean, I'm sure he's on his way to, making first team for Spain, especially at least I would assume by the next World Cup, since the Olympics aren't happening this year. I don't know if he'd play in those or not, but yeah, you definitely get some more money for him.
I don't think we're getting money for anybody this year. I really don't. I don't think we're going to see any money. Probably there won't even be any transfer windows either. Who knows what's going to happen? But
yeah, transfers will be very slow for sure.
I just don't see making any money off anybody till next year, like January or something like that. But definitely,
which is good for us.
Shit, goddamn Ray.
So I know before the show I was talking about how Bleacher Report Football on Twitter had a 32 team or 32 moment poll for the greatest football moments in 21st century. And the final was Leicester's 5,001 title odds for winning. And then the 7-1 Germany over Brazil defeat in the World Cup. And I clicked on the vote. And after there's 16 hours left, but there's been 34,700 votes cast. And Leicester's title win is 76 to 24% winning right now.
Wow.
Yeah, which I think is kind of crazy. I don't know who the 7-1 moment had to go up against, but I think that's kind of crazy that well, no, I'll take it back. That was, especially in Brazil, that was pretty wild because Germany definitely poured it on that year. But yeah, so That was pretty interesting.
Pulling Ray into us in a second.
Tell him he's not allowed in if he doesn't have sunglasses.
Who's that?
Ray.
Find some Ray. He's going to plug his show for tomorrow. And then Wednesday we got 2 shows. That's the new Hammer Shots show at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then Lee's show. Wayne, I don't know anymore. And I think that Costia is going to be on that show with him, and I think Dave from Boston. I'm not sure. There's going to be a bunch of people on Lee's show that night, so check that out. This last one was pretty cool. We had Jason Schechter from North Carolina, and we had Pam from Kansas City, and somebody else I remember. We had so many people. It's great. I love it. So I don't know where Ray is, but I sent him the damn link. So, so real quick, Lanzini. Again, this goes back to the whole, this ain't 2015 anymore, guys. Like he's just, there's no Payet on the squad. Here's Ray Force. You wearing your Ray-Bans, Ray Force? What's going on? No glasses tonight?
Can't see him.
Turn on a light. What are you, a vampire? What's going on? Oh, now he left.
Good. No glasses.
You also got to consider
Ray.
it's like early in the morning too. I wouldn't have the light on either.
No glasses, no Ray. That's my opinion about it.
Did you kick him?
No, I wish I did. I would have. If I had the power to, I would have.
Oh, God. Yeah, come on, Ray. Where the hell are you? You were just here. Anyway, I hope that wasn't his plug. He did a real shitty job at that. But,
well, I mean, ultimately, a plug is to make people aware. People are aware now. You got to appreciate it. It's not effective, but people are aware, Guerrilla marketing. You got to change it up sometimes.
Any press is good press, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. It's tomorrow night, as a matter of fact. Charlie boy, if you're not doing anything tomorrow night, you want to, I see you in the chat room. You want to hop on with Ray and Rebecca and Katie? That would be kind of interesting. That would be a good show.
Yeah.
So I really do. I think that would be like, that would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like 4 strong opinions and some PowerPoints. Oh, I can't beat it. That would be great. That would be awesome. So,
mess around and get educated. That's what I'm talking about.
We'll get you hooked up with the link tomorrow night. It's probably going to be 8 though Eastern, because of the UK people need their 1 a.m. not 2 a.m. show. That'd be horrible. All right, so I guess Ray's not coming back. But anyway, all right. Well, that's a wrap then. All right, guys, girls, ladies, old people, and dudes with shades. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. We did not stream on Facebook for some fucking reason tonight. I don't know what the hell happened. Got an error. But we're on YouTube and Periscope and Twitch. So if you were on Twitch or Periscope or something like that, hop on over to YouTube and click the subscribe button, because I think we've gotten 1 in the last 3 months. Literally. I think we've grown like 1. And I think our first 2 months, I think we had like 300. So let's try to get the upswing back again. Keep me motivated to continue to do this. So I got to thank Sally for popping in tonight. I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun.
Always great having you on. And Wally, it's always a pleasure. It was great seeing you on Sunday. I missed the first few minutes, so I was texting you during the show saying, hey, are you in? Are you on?
Yeah.
Because usually like halfway through, he'll pull you in and, ask about the points and see.
No, I was on at the beginning, and then he boots me off, which is perfectly. I love that because I need to concentrate on counting likes, Charlie. So
yeah.
Trust me, I appreciated it on Sunday. Don't you get me?
That was a close one, boy.
That was close. So if anybody didn't watch that episode, please do. Basically, Charlie destroyed Ian Bishop. And completely just fucking squashed poor Alex.
Let's be real. I didn't beat Ian Bishop. The chat beat Ian Bishop. I just happened to be the person at the front of the line. You know what I mean? It wasn't
so funny because Gio popped in and was trying to rally the morale. Trying to rally the troops and say, hey, how do we get Charlie to win this? But it was already swung, dude. It already swayed your way. You already had the chat room. I don't know how much you paid these people for him.
Oh, listen, a lot of money, Tim. I'm broke.
Debo said, you know what? Bishop's my favorite player. I'm still voting for him. And, oh God, it was great though. So anyway, long story short, for those who didn't watch it, once again we had someone leading by 2 points, and then the that second place person won the 2 points from the chat room, went to a tiebreaker. And what happens? Oh, well, went to a vote again. Well, who won the vote already? Charlie. Charlie was a captain.
I'll say this. Listen, you want a quick promo? Let me finish this. Right. Katie, I see her in the chat. Katie, a lot's been said about Jordan Hugel. Okay. A lot's been said specifically by you. And listen, Tommy said it at the same time. So I'm not listening, but Tommy's a separate issue. Tommy's a separate issue, okay, Katie? Sunday, what time is it, Tim? American time?
3:30 Eastern time.
3:30 Eastern, okay, Katie. 8:30 British summer BST. You're talking about Philly Fire, bro. It's not going to be important because the power of Jordan Hugel is going to be coming full force. What are you going to do, sister, when Jordan Mania runs wild on you? Okay, because it's coming, it's happening. Jordan Hugel. Any question I can, I'm shoving it in there. I'm getting 0 likes, but I'm winning the respect of a QPR player. It's going to happen. Katie, get ready. Sunday. It's going down 3:30 Eastern. I think you just said 8:30 BST. Be there or be bloody square.
That's right. That was fantastic. I really appreciate that.
Talk about your promos.
Another plug that we can get another promo. So I guess when Katie's on tomorrow night, she can do her promo, which would be great. So anyway, we still have a few of these scarves for sale. We actually have the original batch, which is right over here behind my shoulder, which is kind of more reddish and lighter blue. And then we have the darker claret and darker blue. So anyway, we still have them for sale. Just I don't know, message us if you guys want one. If you want the one that I was sweating on tonight, extra $50. But the other ones were just $25. That's it. You just gotta help pay for shipping. That's all. Here's Ray. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
there he is.
There it is. There it is.
Sunglasses.
I'm happy now. We're here, bro.
All right, give your plug because we're about to leave.
Oh, no sound. Uh-oh. Got
Best
to
plug ever.
You have no sound.
No sound. Got to plug in a microphone.
Yeah.
I didn't mute you either, dude. We can't hear you.
Oh, man. Recall Big George with 2 shades. Yep. It's on now.
Yeah, it's on. Listen. I saw Ray come in with one. I had to add him. I'm not gonna lie about it. I had to.
Ray.
Oh.
Oh, it's gotten brighter. Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, you've got a light, but you don't have sound. I'm loving the priorities here. This is excellent.
Anyway,
Nice beard. Nice quarantine beard.
we'll see Ray tomorrow night. He'll be hosting. I don't know what his topic will be, but
We'll hear him tomorrow night.
we'll definitely hear him tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
He's saying something.
Yes. Good job, Ray. Awesome. This is great. Well, all right. Well, anyway, we got scarves. So also, listen, I asked Alex to post some stuff posts about our shop again, because I guess people forgot about our shop. We get tons of really cool stuff and also some new designs, like a Minecraft Bobby Moore looking guy, or Cancer Out within the the same design as GSB Out, but the proceeds for that shirt goes to Isla, so that's kind of cool. And then we have like a million other designs that help out with different supporters groups, and the ones that have to do with us help us out. And I bought my son the West Ham Philly one he loves to wear, and that's cool. So we got American Hams Radio, American Hams Network, and all these other designs. But anyway, long story short, we have shit in the shop. So rather than begging you to join like a Patreon or something like that, or begging you to send me money, or we give you some tangible shit, So please, LA baby. Anyway, just please, help us out because it helps pay the bills and all that other good stuff, and helps us like look toward doing better things for the channel. Because look, we really want to start doing a lot of pre-recorded stuff soon. That's one thing that we've never done, so we want to get into that. But again, some things cost money. But anyway, love you all and see you tomorrow night. And I'll talk to you guys off the air. But for everybody else, come on, you fucking irons.
Irons.